What's going on YouTube? So in a time when sedans are dying left and right, Dodge continues to be very different from their rivals by offering a sedan with legitimate performance and a really mean look. What I'm standing next to today is of course the Dodge Charger, and in the popular GT trim level, which combines a lot of the styling from the most powerful models such as the Hellcat with a nice and affordable price tag. So with that being said, let's go ahead and see if this is the muscle sedan for you. So of course, probably the biggest thing that continues to make the Charger so popular is the exterior design. This looks like nothing else that it competes against, and really just has this cool, mean, and aggressive look that people frankly just love. Now, up here in the front, all but the very base SXT are gonna have this aggressive sport fascia. More or less, this is shared with all the way up to the most aggressive models, such as the Hellcat. And you've got this dark mesh that runs through here. Since we have the blacktop package, it blacks out our Dodge badging. And then you have the large lower fascia with the kind of lower lip spoiler down to the bottom, as well as the really cool hood scoop, which is also included. Now, punctuating the grille, you have thin headlights through here. These are going to be LED accented, as in the daytime running lights. The headlight itself is a halogen projector bulb, and then you do have the LED turn signal. And then on the GT model, you will also find LED fog lamps down at the bottom. So next up, let's go ahead and talk about the wheels. Now, I counted them out, and there are 18 different wheels available on the Charger lineup. Of course, the GT doesn't have all of those options. It is going to come standard with a 20-inch alloy. It will have a silver finish normally, but since we have the blacktop package, of course, that's going to black this out for a really sleek look that I love when paired with this silver paint. Coming up here to the top, the mirrors will also be nice and blacked out. You are going to have standard heating and power adjustment on this model. You can get optional blind spot monitoring as well as driver's side auto dimming.
Now here at the side of the Charger, I want to mention just a few things. This is going to be 200 inches long, which is obviously a lot larger than most midsize sedans. I also want to point out you can get an optional black roof if you go for the pano style blacked out look, and then you also have the more classic flip up door handles. Now, as far as the rear design of the Charger, this is a very classic, cool, retro design, as you would expect out of Dodge. So it's really going to be quite a cool look that looks like nothing else in the segment. Up top, we do have a large spoiler. This is going to be standard on the GT model and is blacked out on the blacktop edition. Then if we drop down, you're going to find the full-length LED taillights. These are fully LED, including the brake light, turn signal, and reverse light. Then if we drop down, you are going to notice that we have standard dual exhaust outlets. Now for the Charger, Dodge is going to throw in one safety system standard equipment. That's going to be forward emergency braking with pedestrian detection. And if you opt for the technology group, that's going to throw in the rest of them. So that's going to be full speed adaptive cruise control, as well as lane keeping assist and auto high beam headlamps. Well guys, the Charger is a pretty awesome looking vehicle on the outside. Whether you just think it looks like a police car or whatnot, I mean, this certainly looks pretty cool. But now let's go ahead and check out the inside. But before we do that, please hit that subscribe button down below. Help us to reach our goal of 300,000 subscribers, and also follow us on TikTok and Instagram.
So on the Dodge Charger, you will continue to find a standard smart entry system on all models, as well as a standard remote start system. And then to get inside the vehicle itself, just reach behind the handle and it will unlock. Alright, and taking a look inside of the cabin, you'll continue to find that classic Charger design. Now there are, of course, a lot of different versions of the Charger, but I want to talk about the interior material and color options for the GT. So what we have on this model is the cloth performance seat. This is standard in black only. However, you can also get an available Napa leather and Alcantara sport seat, and that's available in your choice of black or a tan and black combination. Taking a look over here at the door trim, it is nicely appointed with a variety of materials, including a leather material here with a stitching detail. You have cloth through here with stitching detail, and it is soft touch along the top as well. And then your windows are one touch auto up and down for the driver and the passenger. You get the nice aluminum pedals right there. And then as far as your seats, as you can see, they are power adjusting. We do have four-way lumbar support as well. And then like I was mentioning, this is the cloth sport seat. I definitely like the way these are shaped. They have nice and big bolsters to hold you in place. You also have the nice stitching detail as well as the center here, which is in a different texture and design. Now taking a look around the cabin, as far as your materials, they're not really going to change this year. So across the upper dash, this is all going to be finished in a textured soft touch plastic. You do have your Charger branding right there. As we move down, you'll find more of that plastic material goes through here as well. And then around this area and the shifter, as well as around the display, you do have this nice looking faux aluminum trim. Now to start up every Charger, put your foot on the brake and press the standard button. Yeah, even the V6 models do have a nice growl to them. Now taking a look here at your gauge cluster, this is the standard version, except that we have the blacktop package, so that actually blacks out all the different elements there, gives them those nice red accents, which looks really sleek. And then as far as the display you see there in the middle, that is a 7-inch multi-function display. That's included on all Chargers, and as you can see, it does contain all the typical expected information. Now as we pull back to the steering wheel, you've got a very nice steering wheel. This is Dodge's thick-rimmed, nice leather-wrapped steering wheel. You do have the perforated leather over here on the bolsters. Of course, you have the Dodge emblem, and like I said, really nice feel in the hand. As far as the wheel itself, it is going to be manual tilt and telescoping, but if you choose the Plus group, you can actually get power adjustment. And then higher end models, those will come with steering wheel heating. Let's go ahead and take a look around at interior storage. So we'll start out underneath our center console, of course. When you open that up, you will be greeted with a little tray here, which you can take out. And then underneath of that, you have a really nicely sized storage area. On the sides, you have a really nice felt lining, and then you have a rubber pad at the bottom there. 12-volt outlet, 2 USB ports, and an aux jack. But here's the test. Let's put our thick stack of coupons in here, make sure they can fit. Looks like they're going to fit. No problem. Perfect. Underneath of this is going to be your 2 cup holders. You have a little storage area right there, and then up here in the front you have a much larger storage area, which would be good for a cell phone, and then you've also got a 12-volt outlet next to that. Now taking a look here at the shifter, this is a simple to use physical shifter. Of course, pull back for drive. Bump over here to the left if you want to shift manually. And we do have paddle shifters on the steering wheel. These are actually real aluminum, which is a nice touch. And then heading into reverse, this is your standard backup camera. As you can see, we do have active trajectory. Resolution is decent, the display is nice and large. And then over here in the display in front of the driver, this is where you'll see the visualization for your standard rear parking sensors as well. This model does not have an electronic parking brake. It is the foot activated style. Taking a look right above that, that's where you'll find your standard dual zone automatic climate control system. All nice physical buttons right here. You can just adjust your temperature up and down, fan speeds right there. When you make those adjustments, it does show up here, and you can also make the adjustments inside of the display itself if you prefer to do that. Above that you have mostly just audio controls, which we'll talk about in just a second, but I do want to push this button here, Super Track Pack. When you do that, that's going to bring you up to your drive modes as well as some cool features like the launch control system that this model has. Just reminds you that this has a lot more performance emphasis than most of the sedans in this price category. Okay, so now let's go ahead and take a sample of those audio systems. We've got the standard 6-speaker Alpine sound system. There are also available higher end Alpine and Harman Kardon sound systems, but we'll go ahead and give this one a sample. Wow, I have to say I'm very impressed by this sound system. You really don't ever see a branded sound system as the base sound system, and indeed it does sound like an optional sound system in different types of vehicles, so I'm definitely happy to see that. Okay, so let's take a look now at the display. So this is the 8.4-inch Uconnect system. This is included as standard equipment on all but the very base SXT trim level. And this is running the typical Uconnect system. It is not the newest 5.0 version, which includes a few extra features and a little bit different graphics and stuff. That being said, it still is plenty responsive and has quite a lot of features on board, including Android Auto and Apple CarPlay abilities. Additionally, you can option on navigation to any of the models that have this bigger display. Taking a look up here at the top, we do have an auto dimming mirror. And then these are our 3 HomeLink universal remotes. You'd also have a sunglass holder, which a lot of cars don't have these days. And then up here at the top, we don't have any moonroof or anything. That's going to be available as an option on all the trim levels. Alright, so taking a look back here in the rear seat of the Charger, you're going to find plenty of space since this is a pretty big sedan after all. You're going to be looking at 40 inches of legroom and 36 inches of headroom, which once again is plenty of space for pretty much any need. Sitting behind my own driving position here, and I'm 5'8", it looks like I've got, I would say, probably 8 inches of legroom from my leg to the back of the seat back here, and my feet can wiggle around underneath the seat pretty well. Also, we do have some seat back pockets. And then talking about some of the other features on board here, we do have standard rear air vents. We also have 2 USB ports, which is a nice touch. And a lot of the models, including this GT, can option on heated rear seats. And then dropping down the center armrest, you do have 2 cup holders inside. Walking up to the trunk of the Charger, you got a little button right here that you can push to release it. And wow, when this opens up, you're gonna see a ton of space. This is 16.5 cubic feet, which is actually substantially larger than even something like the Mercedes S-Class we reviewed a few weeks ago. Just an enormous amount of space, and the opening here is also huge. Now, once you get over looking at the space, you do have some incandescent lighting on the sides, a nice carpeting all around the thing. You do have a cargo hook. Your seats are going to fold 60-40 split, and then when we take a look underneath of the flooring here, you're going to find a spare tire as well as your car battery. Over here at your passenger seat, this will be a manual adjusting seat with this GT model. And opening up our glove box here, nicely dampened, nicely felt lined as well. We have a pretty decent amount of space. Definitely is going to be enough to slide in our coupons here, just like so. You actually have a kind of 2 shelves here, so you have the bottom shelf as well as a top shelf. And then coming up here to the sun visor, we do have a mirror and a light. It does detach, and then you have an extension on the end. Oh, and it slides as well. So there we are heading up to 60 miles an hour with the Charger GT. So being the GT trim level as the second to the lowest trim level, that means you're going to come with the V6 engine. So what you have on board is the 3.6 liter Pentastar V6, just like many other Chrysler products. It's making 293 horsepower and 260 pound-feet of torque, so definitely very healthy numbers. And as you can see, acceleration there is plenty adequate. Like we were talking about, the GT trim level really is a great value in the sense that, you know, for those of you who don't need the full V8 Hemi power, you still get all the cool looks and stuff like the higher end models, which come with a series of different V8s, 5.7 liters, 6.4 liters, all the way up to, I believe, nearly 800 horsepower with the Hellcat
Red Eye. So anything you want, you can get it in the Charger. So that's certainly a pro that you can't see in a lot of sedans nowadays.
Now, as far as the transmission is concerned, we do have an 8-speed automatic transmission. This is a good transmission, nice and smooth as far as driving aggressively and driving more casually. And then one of the benefits of going with one of the V6 power trim levels, either the SXT or the GT, is that in addition to the standard rear-wheel drive, you can also option on all-wheel drive. And that's something that's not available with any of the V8 options.
Now, as far as your ride quality is concerned, it is very good in the Charger. You know, it soaks up the bumps well, and I also want to mention how quiet it is. It seems very quiet in here, so we can get our sound level reading here. We're looking at 57.8 decibels. That's a very good reading for any non-luxury vehicle. That's actually really good.
Now, one of the things I did want to take a second to talk about was the fact that this is a pretty athletic vehicle. You know, of course, this is pretty big and heavy, but being a rear drive platform, and of course, all of its basically really high performance brethren really make even this lower end model a nice performer, a nice handler. You know, you can kind of toss it into corners. It feels very stable. The steering is nicely weighted. You know, this is a pretty fun vehicle. A lot of other full-size sedans really are kind of like old people vehicles, you know, but this does not have that vibe at all.
Now, we'll go ahead and mention the airball and slam dunk. I think today the slam dunk is going to be the exterior styling in this Charger. I mean, it certainly has been around for a while at this point, but I think it looks really, really good. It has that cool retro look, like something you would get in like the Dodge Challenger, and I think it just overall looks really cool if you're into that type of styling.
For sure. And then on the opposite side of things, we have today's airball. That's just going to be the cabin, being a bit dated. Like I said, this car dates back quite a distance and certain elements, not really in the technology per se, but just kind of material quality and stuff like that, does feel dated.
Now I'll go ahead and mention the fuel economy as well. This particular model is going to be rear drive with the V6. That's going to be the best fuel economy of the bunch, coming in at 23 miles a gallon combined. If you go for all-wheel drive, that's 21. And then, of course, it goes down from there as you get the V8 options, all the way down to 15 miles a gallon combined for the highest powered option. And as far as the pricing is concerned, that is going to be a pretty attractive point for it. It's going to start a little over $30,000 for the base XXT. That's a Duster trim level. The GT, what we have here, is going to be $32,755. This one is equipped with a few options on it, plus the destination charge of $14.95. Then be coming in at $35,160.
So, all in all, I think this Dodge Charger just continues to occupy a really unique place in the market. Really, it's kind of a class of one, or I guess two if you count the Chrysler 300. Just having that muscle car ability. This is on a rear drive platform. You have a series of increasingly powerful engines, starting with this, which is honestly pretty powerful in and of itself. This really just is a unique product that I think just continues to be appealing year after year. All right guys, so that is going to be the end of our Dodge Charger GT review. We hope you enjoyed this video, found it useful, and learned a lot about this Charger. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to stop by our channel, press that subscribe button, and check out all of our other content related to Dodge products as well as many other products all around. Take care, we'll see you next time. Are you freaking kidding me? Could that be any louder?